Okay, so this commenter here has called me out, and he said, "You thought the State of the Union was good," and I saw an angry old man, and his unfavorabilities have gone up. And then he goes on, we have two factual assertions in here that I want to address. There are three opinions that, yes, his opinion about the State of the Union, his opinion about my comment, half baked, and of me, gone down a couple notches. I can't do anything about those opinions, but what I can do is take the factual assertions seriously. And honestly, they are fairly good assertions. Okay. And so if we get past the invective, this user is bringing up an important point. And this is honestly, as academics, this is what we try to do, right? So was the State of the Union good? Clearly, the day after, there was, the talking heads were very positive on it. And a lot of people who, like Dan Dresner, who's an academic and not a talk, he said, yeah, Biden needed to do this, that, and the other thing. And it appeared to be at a judgment level, at an expert level, at a pundit level, a very good job. However, as Andrew Blake at the Washington Post pointed out, the CNN poll that came out after it, well, on the surface, it looked good. The instant poll that CNN did found that 67% had a positive reaction to the speech, and 17% of the respondents went from thinking it was the country was going the wrong direction to think it's fine. However, as Blake points out, well, that's normal for one of these speeches. And in fact, it's lower than the last speech, the other last lowest speech, which was Trump's 2018 State of the Union, that had a 70% positive reaction to it. So honestly, even though the reaction is good, it's not as good as it should be. That's an important point. This user also brought up the question of the favorabilities. Now, he or she is saying that Biden's unfavorabilities went up as a result. Actually, they didn't. Biden's unfavorabilities went up 1% in the week. But, if you get down and you really move the cursor around in 538 on the unfavorable polling average, Biden's unfavorables were 53%. They went up a point prior to that, in the week prior to it, but they've stayed. I mean, they moved, the decimal point changes, but they were already up. They haven't moved. If we go look at his approval rating, same thing. The approval rating has not moved in the week since the State of the Union. So there's been no visible reaction in the polls. So I don't know if it was a bad State of the Union. It wasn't a good one. So I guess, I wasn't really focused on that, and I kind of had a different perspective on that. But all right, it wasn't necessarily such a good one. I think it was a good speech. I think it was a speech that, as a speech went, he did what a reasonable person would say he needed to do. In terms of the audience reaction to it, which is actually the thing I focus on, and I would argue is the most important, the reaction to it has not been good. So it wasn't an effective speech, or it didn't move the bubble. And this just goes to that comment in that post. Biden has a very hard job ahead of him. And it doesn't look like what he's doing is, he's chopping and chips aren't flying. That would be how I'd put it.